The story of Temilola, the mystic Topaz, balancer of nature and restorer of light. Long before time had a name, when rivers still sang and the stones could dance, the earth lived in harmony. The trees whispered secrets to the wind, the rivers danced and sang, their melodies shaping the land, while the mountains stood steadfast, grounding all with their strength. Every part of the earth, whether it moved, breathed, or stood still, was connected in a great cycle of life. At first, all things, whether alive or still, understood this balance. The trees knew their roots depended on the soil's nutrients, and the soil relied on the decay of fallen leaves to renew its life. The mighty mountains, though silent and seemingly immovable, understood their role in creating the rivers and valleys that brought life to the earth. Everything had a place, and everything was valued. But as time passed, something changed. Those things that moved and breathed, like the wind, the rivers and the trees, began to think of themselves as greater than the stones and the mountains.
We sway and dance, we sing and grow. What do the rocks do? Nothing but sit still and gather moss.
This belief spread even to the stones themselves. Among them, the most beautiful gemstones, diamonds that sparkled, emeralds that glowed a vibrant green, and rubies with their fiery red, began to look down on the more common stones. Quartz and granite were scoffed at, and as for the little golden topazes, they were dismissed entirely. High above them all, Olorun, the wise, all-seeing god of the heavens, watched with growing concern. Olorun, who stretched from horizon to horizon and had watched over the world for eons, understood the delicate threads that held the cycle of life together. He had seen what happened when balance was lost, and now he felt the earth tipping into peril.
They have forgotten their place, forgotten that each is part of the whole. If this pride and division continues, the earth itself will unravel. I must teach them a lesson.
Olorun called upon his ancient allies, the great mountains of the land and sea. The mountains, though still and silent, had long been the foundation of the earth's harmony. They knew the power they held and agreed to Olorun's plan. The mountains began to rumble, summoning their strength. Those on land released rivers of molten lava, darkening the skies with ash. The mountains beneath the oceans stirred the seas into great black waves, crashing them against the shores with fury. The skies, once brilliant blue, turned grey and thick with smoke. The rivers, choked with ash, slowed to a trickle, and the trees withered as their roots found only barren soil. Desperate to restore harmony, the proud gemstones of the earth stepped forward, believing their beauty could bring back the light. First, the diamond stepped forward.
My brilliance can pierce the ash and darkness. Watch as I restore the sky.
The diamond reflected the faint light of the sun, casting it across the land. But the light was cold and dull. It did not warm the soil or clear the air. The skies remained grey. Next, the emerald stepped forward, determined to finally outshine the diamond.
If the greenest gemstone cannot give life to all that is green, what can? My glow will bring life back to the trees and rivers.
The emerald's light spread across the land, but it was not strong enough to nourish the soil or awaken the trees. The rivers stayed silent, and the trees did not grow. Then the ruby stepped forward, aglow in premature victory.
My flame will burn away the ash and bring warmth to the earth.
The ruby burned brightly, but its fire scorched the land, leaving it more barren than before. Hidden in the shadows, Temilola the topaz watched silently, as she always did. Following the guidance of the wise quartz and ancient mountains, she studied the missteps of the prideful gems, learning from their failures. Temilola respectfully stepped forward and spoke.
I may not be as brilliant as the diamond, green as the emerald, or as fiery as the ruby, but I am willing to try. If I can bring back the light, Olorun, will you help restore the balance?
Little Topaz, you have endured much, and your heart is pure. If you are willing, your light may guide the earth back to harmony.
Temilola endured the heat and pressure of the mountain, emerging as a brilliant blue topaz, her light strong enough to clear the skies and revive the rivers. But when she turned her light to the trees, they remained still and lifeless, her light dimming as despair crept in. But Olorune's voice rang out once more.
Do not lose heart, little one. Topaz comes in many hues, each shaped by what it has endured. The world once saw you as ordinary, but in faraway lands stones like you, in your golden state, are treasured. And even now, your brilliance has brought the earth closer to balance. Perhaps you must endure a bit more, and from this trial, you will become all that the trees need.
Remembering the lessons from the quartz and the mountains, that endurance was the key to true brilliance, she returned to the heart of the volcanoes, where the heat and pressure were greater than ever. This time, she did not simply endure, she allowed herself to transform completely. When emerged, she was no longer simply blue. Her surface shimmered with a rainbow iridescence, a dazzling array of colors that shifted and danced in the light. She was now a topaz known in faraway lands as mythic topaz, a stone less prized by some but uniquely suited to the challenge ahead. Her rainbow light bathed the trees, filling their roots with warmth and nourishment. Slowly, they began to stir. Their leaves opened, and their branches reached toward the sky. The forest came alive, its songs joining the rivers and winds once more. All the gems gasped in amazement.
We were wrong to dismiss you. Your strength and sacrifice have saved us all.
It was never about one of us being greater than another. The earth needs us all: stones, soil, rivers, trees, and wind. Some of us shine in a single moment, while others, like me, take time.
Although Olorun allowed Temilola to restore balance, he knew that the diamond, emerald, and ruby had not yet learned the lesson of humility. In his wisdom, he placed them deep within the earth so they might remember their origins and regain the desire to bring light and joy to others. The gemstones were horrified. They cried out,
This is unfair! We meant no harm! We only wished to shine!
But Temilola stepped forward once more.
Please, Olorun, let them return to the earth, not in shame, but in waiting. Give them the chance to shine again, not to be worshipped, but to be worn with grace. If given the chance, in time they will remember the purpose of their true brilliance.
Olorun, touched by her words and the kindness in her heart, nodded.
So it shall be.
And from that day on, the finest gems were found in the darkest places, buried but not forgotten. And when they were brought to the light, they carried with them not just color and fire, but the memory of the mystic Topaz, who taught the world that true brilliance is the light carried and shared by many, not a flame guarded by one. And so, the story of Temilola, the mystic Topaz, comes to a close. Thank you for listening to African Folktales by Blue. If this story touched your heart, let it shine for someone else. Share it, speak it, pass it on. Until next time, keep Temilola's story alive and her light moving forward.